Welcome to the Finance Fam Show. This is where we cover finances, faith, family, and freedom. Whether you're in debt or a seasoned investor, this show is going to help you beat the rat race, build wealth, get out of debt, invest, and live with purpose to gain freedom and impact the kingdom however the Lord calls you as a believer. Andrew and I are two dudes that love Jesus. We love our families. We love freedom. We love personal finance. And we want to help you unleash all the potential that God has in store for you. So we're not finance experts. This isn't financial advice, but we're so glad you're here. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome, good people, to this episode of Finance Fam. I'm Isaiah. This is Andrew Bullard, our host, co-host. Right. And today we've got something really cool in store we're going to discuss. It's personally been a passion of mine the last couple of weeks here. It's changed my job, changed my day-to-day. Andrew, you said it's changing this podcast and the way you're doing things.
Oh, yeah.
You may have heard about it, but what are we talking about today?
We're talking about a new technology called ChatGPT, and this is one of those we might need to push right to the front of our release date. Like we're recording this right now, February 16th, 2023. We're going to look back on this episode as our first reaction, the first time we ever discussed this. This is fundamentally going to change the way people do work. Yep. It's going to create more productivity and all that good stuff. So the technology is ChatGPT. I think I said that right, ChatGPT. Yeah. And so I asked this. So can you explain it? I think that you've had 2 weeks of processing information through this technology and using it and so application.
Yeah, real quick. There's many AI engines that have been around for the past couple of years. Most of them have not been very smart. Actually, this is technically ChatGPT 4. There's been 4 iterations. ChatGPT 3 was the last one that was pretty decent. It was like handling a lot of copywriting and stuff. But basically, I don't remember the scientist's name. It's Sam, I think Lex, and then Elon Musk are behind. We're behind this AI, and they developed it, and it's changing the world. It's owned by a company called OpenAI. They've done DALL-E, I think, for image generation. They've done a couple different things in the industry. So ChatGPT is definitely changing the world. The last thing I'll say about it before we get into what it is, I think Instagram, TikTok, like all these major platforms broke records in the last 5 years because of the amount of users they gained within a certain time period. So I think TikTok, for example, took X amount of months to hit 1 million profile signups, basically. And this tool blew all those out of the water. It took 4 days to get 1 million signups.
Wow.
When it dropped. So it's incredible. It's the best, I think, current AI engine out there. There's a couple that I'm using, but for language processing, this is definitely the best. So yeah, do you want to share what it told you?
Yeah. So I asked this chat bot what it was. And so, we kind of, when we had a reaction to it a couple weeks ago, or I guess it was last week, I asked it the question, who are you? What are you? And it told me, I am an AI language module created by OpenAI. I was trained on a large data set of text to help me generate human-like responses to various questions and tasks. My goal is to provide helpful, informative, and engaging responses to the queries of users. And that pretty much sums up what the technology is quite well.
Yeah. And it's so much more beyond what we've seen. Now it's as sophisticated as, tell me how much that, we were talking about Honda parts. Like, tell me about this Honda part.
Crazy.
But tell me the price and the protocol to replace it in Shakespearean. And it's like able to process all that and spit it out to you.
Oh, no.
Oh, the brother Honda. I'm not going to try to do Shakespearean. But the point is, it's scary good. And that can't be understated how scary good it is. And so my what I equate it to is a difference between going to the library and a Google search engine. That is what it felt like when I experienced it the first time. I was literally shocked with its ability to process information quickly and create a human-like response, bringing up something that you weren't expecting. And so in a moment, we'll share our reaction to it when we first saw it together. I think you got introduced to it before I did. But it can't be understated just how human-like it is. And on the episode a few weeks ago, or last week when we recorded it, we started calling it Jacob, and I got a little bit creeped out. Just to be honest, we called it Jacob, and I felt uncomfortable because it literally felt it acted so human-like
it was as if we just brought in a professor with an insane amount of knowledge, and he was just in the room chatting with us. Or if we had access to, say, an expert in a field right here. And so I equate it to, just in the limited knowledge and research I've done so far, to literally from libraries to Google. So if you guys were around, I don't know how many old timers listen to this show. Thank you, by the way. But how many people remember when Google first came out and how shocked you were that you could ask it a question and then boom, there it was. You know, for you, I'm assuming you've had Google your whole life. I'm not that much older than you, but I remember being
before, yeah.
I remember
when Internet Explorer was popular before Google.
Sure.
Was, yeah.
And I remember experiencing Google for the first time and going, whoa, I can ask this any question that I want.
The weird thing about Google, and this comes from my background in SEO, is when you ask Google something, you're not asking Google. Google is just a library. Like you said, the first iteration is a library. Google is an online library of all the things that people post. So if you're an expert on car parts, and I'm an expert on car parts, we post about car parts, and when someone searches Honda car part, whoever's article is better gets raked.
Yep.
You know, this is completely different.
This is completely different. This is not Google. This is not
you sifting through 20 articles on the first page trying to figure out the right response, or going to a Reddit thread, or trying to go through, hundreds of ads trying to find a recipe. This is like, I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to type it out before you, and then if you need any, you need to re-ask the prompt, we'll fix it for you. Yeah,
it is astounding and a little bit scary, and so we'll talk about a little bit of that. So our reaction to it last week, just from I guess when did you first see it in its complexity? Who showed it to you, first of all? When did you first see its complexity, and what was your reaction? Because you saw mine. You were sitting in the room when I was like, what is this thing?
So I've been following AI for a couple years because of my work.
Wow.
So I actually was aware of ChatGPT 3, and I've used it for writing blogs and stuff. It was very sophisticated. But I found out probably the second or third day it was released. On Twitter, it was trending number 1, and people were signing up, and they were sharing the questions they asked it and the responses they were getting. And I immediately downloaded it.
Wow.
And
wow.
I've been using it ever since. So probably not as shocked, but just more so surprised at how good it's improved.
You're saying the difference between 3 and 4 was substantial.
They have a diagram. It was like ChatGPT 3 was like this big, and it showed billions of neurons and connection points. ChatGPT 4 is like the equivalent of like, I can't remember. It was like 100 times bigger, and it's also able to like grow and improve itself, which is true AI, being able to machine learn
and grow and that sort of thing. So that's fascinating. So you actually saw 3 and then 4 came out. So why do you think, and this is just speculation, why do you think that AI has gotten so advanced so quickly? Because I remembered shortly before that came out, I was scrolling through, I forget, it was YouTube or something, and I was seeing AI-generated images that were like, I don't know, airbrush, paint, Photoshop, whatever.
Probably the same company, but it was DALL-E.
And I was just going like, wait, what? And I'd never seen anything like it. And so basically, it's the same company doing a different task, a different form. And so it was astounding what I was seeing. And so I knew that the AI technology progressed, but why do you think now? Why 2023 has it become, as I said before, library to Google? Why did we have this technological breakthrough? Because I think the technological breakthrough is about the same, library to Google. Why now?
That's a hard question. Probably need to ask Joe Rogan or Elon Musk. But I think it's just the advancement in human technology. So, for hundreds, thousands of years, we've had an archaic way of accessing information, and the internet comes out, and that changes everything. We don't know it, in 95 or whenever the internet was mainstream. But look, 10 years later, social media hits, Facebook hits, all of a sudden the pocket device happens in 2005.
Yeah.
Well, look at how much has happened since 2005, 2015.
Incredible.
And then look at 2015 to almost 2025. Like, I think it's just a rapid acceleration of technology to the point where we have so much information, we have so much machine learning, we have so many algorithms. Like, every tech company is producing these things. It was just only a matter of time, before it was going to be available to us. And soon, let's think about 10 years from now. Where is it going to be? You're probably not having to type stuff out. You're probably got some fancy technology. You're talking to it. It's in the room. Like, who knows what that looks like? But think about the cutting edge of like what's it going to be like 10 years, 20 years from now. So that's my take on it.
That's fantastic. So I wanted to touch on that moment last week. Like, I don't know if we're even going to air that episode. We began talking about, like, I don't know, a fun little quip about abs versus millionaires, right?
Yeah.
And then it kind of devolved into we're talking to an AI machine and it's telling us more information than we could possibly imagine about what it means.
It pointed out that we asked a stupid prompt, basically.
Yes. Yeah. And so in a normal podcast, you don't have an expert in the room with you going, you asked the wrong question, dummy. That's basically what it was doing. It was going, and that was shocking to me. I was a little offended by Jacob, to be honest. We started talking him Jacob, and I was like, Jacob, why you gotta be? I was literally like,
so right.
You can see it on my face when we're doing the episode. I was literally just struck, and I was just like, why is this sitting so weird? Oh, I got like a little bit rebuked by a machine for asking a question. So very, very funny.
Yeah.
So tell me what that experience was like from your perspective.
Yeah. Again, it just highlights. I think, again, one thing that we're not being aware of is how the population is going to change. So, think about boomers who don't know how to use Google. Like, you got to get with the times or get left behind. But my grandmother, she can log into Instagram and she can do stuff and she can do a lot of awesome stuff and she's older. And so I think what this is going to do, what it showed us in that moment is how to search something and ask the right question correctly and think through a prompt. It's going to be all based on how you prompt something rather than just like giving like there's a good way to Google and there's a bad way to Google. When I see people who don't know how to Google things properly, it actually annoys me.
Yeah, it's probably me.
It's like, do you not know how to use this, like the search engine? So I think ChatGPT is going to be the same way. It's going to be based on people are going to evolve with how they search.
Sure.
Things.
So what was your reaction? So just to relive that moment, you hand me the machine and I type in, the question, are there more millionaires in America or Americans with abs? And so it started answering those questions, I think live on air. I forget what was going on.
So you type it in and it types it back to you immediately.
And so what was happening from your perspective? I'm just sitting here like, wait, what? I asked the wrong question? What do you mean I asked the wrong question? What do you mean that it's hard to define what abs actually are?
Yeah. For me, I was loving seeing your reaction. I feel like I'm trying to share with people and they're like, you can see the blanks that they're not disconnected. Like they're so disconnected from what I'm trying to share with them.
Yes.
Like this is life changing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And AI is not here to replace us. I've been telling you this. It's here to supercharge us and 10x, 100x our output. So I'm just like,
so good.
I love seeing people like you being like, "This, I'm going to start using this. This is incredible." More people need to use it. I've showed a couple of friends who are like, "I'm going to start a business now." Shout out to Kessler, who's going to create like real estate listings, to agents. Like that's where people need to start thinking is how to. We're about to get into the financial part of this podcast.
Yeah,
this tool can change finances, businesses, our agencies using it for AI video creation. Like that was my reaction. Was someone has caught the flame of what is happening?
Yeah, it's exciting. So let's talk about applications. So they are endless with this.
Oh man,
and it's in every industry. And I remember thinking back in the day, like I don't know. When I started to notice the advancement of AI technology, I was like, you know what? I'm thankful that I'm a pastor, or I'm a, not a pastor. I'm in ministry, right? Like, that is the appeared career trajectory. I'm glad that that's what I'm in because AI can't do that, right? Like, I'm the only one that can prepare the sermon.
Though we did ask some Christianese questions, and it was good.
I'm the only one that can, and so what I realized quickly with this particular thing, it's like, it can write a better sermon than I can. Not better in quotation marks, but we'll get into that in a little bit. I think what I observed is it can be used in ministry. And that really excited me, especially, and we'll talk, I don't know if we want to do a 45-minute episode about all the applications in ministry, but I think that's where my mind went. I was literally like, this changes everything. This changes the way we do ministry, and it will. It will change people.
To not leave it to one specific industry, I'll say this. It's language-based, right? So anything that requires text and thought and human thought, that's what the tool can be used for.
Yes.
I've used it to write emails. read me this email from this person and write me back a response.
No.
I've used it for
So I'm emailing
blog.
I'm emailing you and it's not even you, Isaiah. Come on, man.
So this
What
is
you
really bad.
doing?
I'm not going to name any names.
Oh no.
A colleague of mine
No.
had somebody request a what's it called when they ask for like if you want a job and you need a reference, right? Is that
Yeah,
what it's called?
reference. No.
This guy was like,
Give me a
ChatGPT,
reference.
write me a reference letter for this person.
No.
And it was great. And it saves them time because no one wants to actually do that. Just being real. That's me. And forgive me if that offends somebody. So
man.
anything that's language-based, emails. We have outlines for our podcast, sermon bullet points, lectures, papers for college students, blogs,
There's
social media content. Anything that's text-based, you can automate it and you can just 10x, 100x your output. So
I'm literally so mad about all the papers I wrote about topics I didn't
it's-
care about.
yeah.
I literally didn't care about like probably 50, 60% of the things I wrote about it. There was just nothing there. It was just like boring, dull research. And so the future, like Ben won't have to write those. Like, I don't know if we understand this. Ben, my son, the 2-year-old, will not have to write essays.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son won't have to write them because the need to write an essay is obsolete.
Yeah.
It is no longer needed.
I wonder what that does to a generation who just has it.
We can talk about the scary implications there, but I'm not saying he won't be required to. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be good for him to learn. What I'm saying is his need to learn has become obsolete to learn that particular skill. There are a million skills Ben can learn that he can provide value to the world that are not writing.
That's crazy. Changing the world. Anything last minute on finances that we're not thinking of that this tool could be used for? We'll have to maybe test it out and not do it this live.
We're going to talk about these applications, right? Sales, research, creative writing.
Yeah,
and that sort of thing.
Text-based. I'm trying to think of financial things you could do with it. You could probably ask it to do budgeting for you. You could probably ask it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, at least the one right now, and currently, again, February 16th, 2023, this is a crucial conversation that you guys know. This is February 16th, 2023. So it's very new. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, a month, two later, a year later, what we're talking about doesn't even make sense. It's far more advanced. But at least right now, the data is only from 2021. Is that correct? So
they stopped it up to 2021 because they want to see how accurate its responses are. And so far, it's been scary good.
Incredible.
But they intentionally limited it.
Fascinating. So I don't know what that would do for finances because we're in a different financial space now than in 2021. And so I think that you wouldn't be able to use it for active numbers, real time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fascinating stuff. So we're going to talk about a few of these applications. I want to start with ministry because I'm in ministry and this is my show. This is our show, Isaiah. I didn't mean to say it like that. That sounded so rude. Isaiah, this is my show. I can talk about it. I want you to talk about all the ways you've been using it already.
I already did. So you don't email me. You email ChatGPT, baby.
It's so good. So good. But so when I first started processing, what happened last week when we asked, Jacob, as we're calling him affectionately, what the difference between how many millionaires are there in America and how many people with abs. And I realized how insanely, how insanely accurate and I don't know, knowledgeable it was. Critical.
Yeah. Critical thinking.
I started to talk about the implications with a few people at Gate City. And I was like, Gate City Church, Gate City House of Prayer, it's where I work full-time there right now. And so I talked with one of the pastors there and, he told me pastors have been using this kind of stuff for a very, very long time. They've been buying sermons, they've been relying on Google for information. It's like we have this idea that pastors, they just get this message from heaven and it comes on a page through hours of prayer and then it just drops in their lap and they share it with the people. No, a lot of it is just simple outlines, simple bullet points. Yeah. And the thought I had, honestly, and this is going to show how goofy I am. I love the Beatles. I've shown Isaiah some Beatles songs. He's not really... It's not his thing. It's not his thing, right? What's your opinion of the Beatles?
I've never listened to more than 3 songs. The Beatles hate me. Whatever.
Whatever. So So I thought of this this song by the Beatles, Eleanor Rigby. It's like 2 minutes long. It's an experimental song with a cello. It's beautiful. Look it up. I thought about the pastor in this song, and this is what's beautiful about AI. AI in its current form with GPT, did I say it right? It eliminates the issue that Father Mackenzie was having. So this is verse 2 of the Beatles song Eleanor Rigby. Father Mackenzie writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. I'm not going to sing it. I think that's a copyright violation. Did I just do a copyright violation?
Please just keep singing.
Anyway, Father Mackenzie writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near. I'm going to say that again. Father Mackenzie writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near. Look at him working, darning his songs in the night when there's nobody there. Why does he care? And so this struck my heart with such, like, I don't know. I just started thinking and praying about the implications of AI. I think there's pastors out there, Isaiah, especially maybe a small town pastor, small congregation. Their time can be freed up to actually do the pastoring that they're supposed to be doing. They can actually spend time doing what they got into it for because they have a theological expert in the room with them.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying that they should rely on AI.
But I'm saying they should. It's so good now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there must be, when you're behind a pulpit, I believe you have a responsibility
for sure.
to share what the Holy Spirit is saying.
Yeah.
But what you do have in the room as you're preparing a sermon with AI is you have a theological expert there.
I think it's a quicker understanding and revelation and like gathering and like just rational way of thinking and organizing the sermon.
Yeah, so instead of looking at your favorite commentary, I'm not saying don't do that. Look at, like, type in.
You could say, give me all the cross references on peace. And it's a different way than traditional ways.
It's a commentary that draws on thousands of commentaries. It's like
exactly.
It's like not only is it a Bible commentary, this Chat AI or whatever it's called, Open AI, it is a massive library at your disposal. And so I think it's a great Bible study tool for non-pastors. Like if you just want to look up some Bible verses about this topic, and that sort of thing. And obviously don't take what it says as the word of God. Like don't let AI be the voice of God in your life. I'm not saying that, but I think that's the possibility that excites me so much is I personally know a lot of Father Mackenzies. Like I personally know a lot of people in ministry that are just burned out doing things that are tedious, and AI can get it done in an instant. And this show is about freedom. So imagine the freedom that you
bring it
have.
home, Andrew.
Yeah,
come on.
There we go. But
it's
really,
freedom, baby.
Really, you have this technology, and I don't know when we'll release this, but it provides freedom for people. And I think that obviously there's a lot of fears that people have with AI, but I really think that there's some opportunity there. So that's my thought about ministry applications. So what about applications? Applications in your sphere, in your industry, right? You are marketing. So that's a lot of writing, blog posts and things of that nature.
Ad copy, headlines, website copy, you name it. I mentioned emails and all the things that I'm already currently using it for. But again, I love you just touched on freedom. I'm gonna hone in that point. You have the information of billions of data points at your disposal and the most smartest engine ever conceived possible by man in front of you. And so you can use that for it. I'm just reading here what you said: sales, research, creative writing, sales. Like now you can write cold email outreach to however many people you want and let it spin it up for you. Now you can offer an email writing service or a blog service. Like people that have never done SEO are like, dude, I can fulfill blogs now, and I'm not saying that you should just start rolling with that. Like you need to have some basic level of strategy, but this is, you should not be scared of this. This is a tool. This is an assistant to supercharge you as a human and make you faster and better. So we're using it right now to pump out thousands of pages for SEO with videos. It's going to change our business with the agency, ad copy, websites. Again, anything you want to do with it, it's there for. So I think I'll say this, bringing it back to finance, this is the best time probably to start a side hustle or business. I'm just gonna say it. Like,
just say it, Isaiah. Just go out and say it.
Previously, you had to go on YouTube. You had to spend hours. And I'm not saying you don't need to learn. You need to get good at your skill.
Yeah.
But now there's literally no excuse. If you haven't started that writing job or whatever business, like you could probably ask it to teach you how to do something, and it'll teach you. I actually had an idea for an app. I won't go down. I won't chase this rabbit hole. But I had an idea for an app for months that I've been brewing on. And finally, I just got the courage to ask it what it thought about it and what the competitors were.
You had the courage and humility to ask the expert on your laptop.
What do you think about this idea? Is it a good idea? And it started giving me like, you should consider competitors. I was like, okay, well, tell me the competitors about my idea. It gave me all the competitors. Where would I start to learn how to code that idea? Start here. Okay, it was actually helping a developer because one of our developers.
That's a business plan, Isaiah.
Exactly. Just ask.
You had a business partner with you.
The best business partner ever. If you're a developer.
Are you kidding me?
Last thing I'll say is, guys, Chris Legg is one of our developers at Blueprint. This guy will spend hours figuring out code problems with our websites and development or whatever. He's like, dude, I have saved 20 hours this week. I'll just tell it, here's the code, tell me where the problem is. And it does it 1,000 times faster than he would have done it manually. So that is the key, using it as an assistant for whatever your work is. Try to figure out what it is that you do daily and implement it into your life.
Yep. Automation, it goes back to, the things we talk about a lot in the show, lifestyle design, fire movement, that sort of thing. What kind of things can save you lots of time? And so that's what this scientific breakthrough can provide for you. More time, more freedom, automation.
Last thing I'll say, people don't know about this. And
they don't.
This is, you're on our show, you getting it right now, baby.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how many people don't know about this. This is the time, I think we're in an opportunity of 6 months to a year before it fully takes off, where you should capitalize, and this is your time to dig your heels and either go all in or get left behind, in my opinion. That's my last thought. But yeah.
Yeah. So I have lots of last thoughts. I sort of asked Facebook. I didn't ask Facebook. Here's what I said, Isaiah, on Facebook. And I just want to hear your response.
Yeah.
Have you seen my thread on Facebook?
I don't think so.
Okay, here we go. I probably could have said this better.
Okay.
AI, ChatGPT, is going to change the way pastors prepare sermons. It will give your pastor his time back. Time to actually pastor people, not simply slave away making a good sermon. AI can prepare in minutes what used to take long hours of study. That didn't go over well. I could have said it better. What is your reaction to what I shared there?
General reaction? That's true.
It's true. And I think a lot of people don't know what this thing is. And so I would say right now, if you're listening, just give it a shot. Just start like you did with Google for the first time.
It's easier than Facebook to sign up. You just need your email. Like the amount of people that have talked to me, like, how do I sign up? What do I do? It's like, just go. Just search ChatGPT.
Yeah. Can we provide a link in the description?
Probably. It's free right now. That's another thing. It's
free right now.
It's not going to be free. It's going to be like $100 a month.
Yeah, it's worth it. I honestly don't know why they're giving it away for the price that they are.
It's to gather. Well, right now it's to gather information.
Yeah. So that's something I would just use this right now. There seems to be a moment of opportunity and scientific breakthrough. So that is our action item for you guys. The applications are off the wall. This is longer than any episode we've ever done, just because it is that big of a deal. And so, I don't know, Isaiah, we might release this early. I think before season 2. I think this is a special.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
This is so I think we found ourselves a special. So season 2 of the show will begin, what do we say, April 5th, something like that. Yeah, so we've still got some planning to do to figure that out. But yeah, so if you like this format of the show, we've got obviously video happening. We've got a longer sort of form show.
We're getting a little bit off finance, but I think it's all good.
For sure. Yeah, this is something I think that we should release now, just because of the unique time in history that we are in with this new scientific breakthrough.
And I love that you mentioned freedom. Like the point of finance is unto freedom. The point of anything is unto freedom. And I think this tool, we don't understand how much freedom it's about to unlock.
Yeah. That's good. And we'll see what happens in the next 2 months. I told Isaiah, is like, we have unidentified flying objects being shot down over North America, and I have a assistant that is 10 times smart, like 1,000 times smarter than I am, that can be my business partner. What is going on? What is the world?
The end times.
what is going on?
AI is
I do not
actually
know.
the Antichrist.
I literally don't know what world I'm living in. And so I hope you found this episode informative. Like and subscribe on YouTube, all of the above, and subscribe on Spotify. Remember, this is Finance Fam. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't look back.
Look ahead.